Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got a new Archeops to talk about. And look, it ain't going to be as good as that Archeops what went and got banned. Although having said that, the Archeops didn't really get banned because of Archeops. The Archeops really got banned because of Maxi's hidden ball trick, giving us turn 1 evolution lock. And if you've been playing the game for any length of time, you know that turning off evolutions before your opponent's had a turn, a little bit broken, a little bit sad. Now, our translation for Archeops here comes from a mixture of myself using Google Translate and the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net, a lovely website that you should be checking out on a regular basis. And if you're not, I'm afraid I have to ask, why not? So Archeops then, it's got 130 HP, which on the one hand does mean it can take 120 from stuff like Buzzwole or Silvally, and then on the other hand, you're like, hang on a second, it's a stage 2. Surely we expect a little bit more from our stage 2s, and the answer is, expect what you like, it's got 130 HP. Sad face. It has got a retreat cost of 1 though, which is nice because of stuff like Escape Board giving you free retreats, but it's got a weakness to lightning. And you see, because of stuff like Electro Power running around, weakness to lightning is actually really bad because it means that any lightning Pokemon that can hit you for 70 gets a one-hit KO. So any lightning Pokemon that can hit you for 40 and add an Electro Power will get a one-hit KO. It's really bad. Be thankful that Zapdos doesn't hit for weakness, or else this would be basically unplayable because Zapdos is, it's seen a bit of play here and there. But still, it's annoying. And the resistance to fighting is good because of this stuff like Buzzwole, and other lightning stuff like Pikachu and Zekrom is weak to fighting. It's amazing. People are playing fighting. I like the resistance, but the weakness and the low HP make me rather apprehensive. Now, weirdly here, and we don't see this all that often, Archeops has got 2 attacks, and they're both kind of good, and they're both for a single colourless energy. Which means you can play it in any deck you like, though it is a restored Pokemon, so maybe we should focus on that. First attack, 1 colourless energy, hit and run. 40 damage, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Now, that then leads me to the question of, well, hang on a second, why would we play this over Hitmonchan? And the answer is, a hit and run attack does 10 more, the second attack is way better, and you got 40 more HP. Although, again, you're a restored Pokemon. We'll talk about that in a moment. It's a hit and run Pokemon. Now, here's the thing. We've not had free retreat for hit and run Pokemon. So, back when we all used to play these kind of Pokemon like Donphan, we had Floatstone, and we could just hit and retreat. The good news is we're now actually getting Night City, which gives free retreat to all of your basic Darkness Pokemon. And it's legal for tournament play the day after Hooper rotates out. It's kind of frustrating because Hooper would have been perfect. But we've got a Skateboard and U-turn board, which will give you free retreat if you got a retreat cost of 1, which is quite nice. And we've got some decent blockers. We've got stuff like Mr. Mime, although Mr. Mime is incredibly awkward. But here's the thing, and I'm going to do a video about this in the near future, I've just unfortunately not had chance yet. The problem with Mr. Mime pre-rotation was Choice Band. Because Mr. Mime either blocks even attacks or odd attacks. Yes, I know they're all technically even, but I'm talking damage counters, not damage. And Choice Band could turn an even into an odd or an odd into an even, so any Mr. Mime that was giving you problems, boom, Choice Band. And Lightning Pokemon can still do that with Electro Power, but a lot of decks can't. So maybe it's Mr. Mime's time to shine, so you can use something like Archeops here to take advantage of that. Now, annoyingly, U-turn board will bring its retreat down to 1, not 0, but, 1's quite nice. We're also going to have Caldeo, which does have the same ability as Hooper, which is quite nice. Not to mention Shuckle, that blocks attacks of Pokemon with 2 energy or less. We've got a couple of decent options here. The problem is we've also got Power Plant. And any of these abilities I've just mentioned on GX Pokemon, You just drop a power plant, the ability goes away, and your opponent can just KO them like normal, which is the big barrier to Mr. Mime, pun intended, and also Shuckle, and also Keldeo. That's not to say you couldn't play some bigger, beefier stuff. I mean, we looked at Caracosta GX the other day, and I think Caracosta GX might be a really good partner for this. Because Caracosta GX has 250 HP, it's got a retreat cost of 4 so it can use buff padding, and the ability reduces damage done to it by 90 if you've got full HP. Now, the downside here is, of course, that it's got a retreat cost of 4, so when you flick it in the active, it's hard to get out. But Caracosta's also got a really nice GX attack, whereby you can put as many Pokemon as you like that evolve from unidentified fossil from your discard pile onto your bench. Well, gee whiz, that sounds kind of nice. Because we should probably talk about this quickly. This is a restored Pokemon, which means you can't just evolve it up in the usual way. You have to use unidentified fossil, get your stage 1, and then evolve it. Caracosta's GX attack will not get Archeops, but it will get all of your Archon from the discard pile onto the bench, which is pretty awesome. And we've also got Laboratory. And Laboratory will do that for 2 Pokemon from the deck. Grab 2 Pokemon that evolve from unidentified fossil. Archeops doesn't, it evolves from Archon. And then put it straight on the bench, but it ends your turn. So essentially, Laboratory gets you your first couple, and then you got Caracosta for getting the rest in future if you like. And here's the thing, right? Caracosta and Laboratory both make restored Pokemon way easier to get out. So we kind of like the idea of using this here in just a general fossil deck. And if you're playing a general fossil deck, how about thinking of Kabutops? Kabutops is supporter lock, but it's got an awkward attack. So you attack with Archeops and then flick Kabutops in the active to supporter lock them. And then you retreat Kabutops, and then you hit with Archeops and put Kabutops back in the active. Probably the best wall, because a hit and run deck, you really need a wall to put up when you hit and run, is probably Kabutops. And in a Hitmonchan, trying to use Kabutops is too darned awkward. But if you're playing Unidentified Fossil anyway, and you're playing Laboratory anyway, and you're playing Caracosta anyway, why not play something like Kabutops? Why not have a play with Omastar, which will item lock your opponent if you've got fewer Pokemon than them in play? Why not have a play with Aerodactyl that does 180 if you've got no GX on the field? If you're using Caracosta, you need to get rid of that before you bring out the Aerodactyl. The point is, with Laboratory and Caracosta, this is not that difficult to get into play. It attacks for a single colourless energy, and it's a hit and run Pokemon that can take advantage of stuff like Kabutops. I like it. But we've also got Hyper Beam here. 1 colourless energy, 80 damage, and automatically discard an energy card from your opponent's active Pokemon. None of this flip a coin garbage. You just immediately discard an energy. And this is where I get really excited about Archeops. Okay, it's only 80 damage, but you're hitting a great weakness. You're getting an automatic discard, and it's for 1 colourless energy. I like the hit and run attack here, especially if you're playing Kabutops. But this is 80 damage hitting a good weakness, automatically getting rid of energy. There are some decks you're legitimately just going to be able to run out of energy doing this, and then win. Maybe you do combine this with stuff like Crushing Hammer, which will survive the rotation because of the secret rare in Ultra Prism. And then you play a bit of an energy denial deck. I'm not 100% sure Archeops is good enough and strong enough in and of itself, although I do think that it's got a really nice pair of attacks, both of which are for 1 colourless energy. But if it attacks for colourless energy and you've got Laboratory and Caracosta, this seems like the best time, at least in years, to actually play fossil Pokemon. It seems like fossil Pokemon might be making a comeback. Now, I really like Kabutops, I really like Aerodactyl, I quite like Omastar. But I think if we start adding Caracosta to that mix, and we start adding, well, this Archeops to the list, I get rather excited rather quickly. It is a Stage 2 and it is a restored Pokemon. So if we didn't have these new tricks, I might not even care. But the fact of the matter is, both of these are good attacks for one colourless energy, and we do have these new tricks. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Maybe these restored Pokemon, these fossil Pokemon, will remain as awkward as they have been for many years. And if they do, they do. But I, for one, ladies and gentlemen, have a sneaky suspicion that they might turn out to be even better than we remembered. I love them. But I'd like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.